YouTube, Ben Ochart here, and today's topic is biggest fish buying mistake. Have you ever bought a fish and realized very quickly, or perhaps maybe slowly as the fish put on size, that you had made a big mistake? Not uncommon in the hobby, not just with cichlid keepers, but with all types of fish keepers. Sometimes they buy a fish and try and mix it with a combination of fish that it shouldn't be with. Sometimes they buy a fish that is needing very different water requirements than the kind of water requirements they're currently providing. The list goes on, and to get more perspective on that, I asked some of the members at the ben.o.cichlid Facebook group. I asked them a very simple, straightforward question. Here are the responses I got. I think you'll find them interesting. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the video. It started as a straightforward survey in which I asked, group survey, what was your biggest fish buying mistake? And the group members, like Ron, replied, not doing enough research before getting started and taking bad advice. Unfortunately, bad advice is floating out there, and we do need to do our research. Anthony said adding an eye biter and Venusus in a peacock hap tank. I've seen that work for a short while until the Venusus and the eye biter put on size. Neil said my first mixed tank, Mbuna and peacocks. I made that same mistake early on, and when the Mbuna put on size, they couldn't be in there any longer. I had to separate them out. And that, I think, is a very common mistake. Getting an Oratus by Michael and David Gonzalez, getting these guys. I, too, owned an Oratus very early on. They're very pretty. They look great in the fish store. And mine was very popular. And then one day turned to all black and became a terror. So I hear you. Holly, Melachromis oratus and red zebra. Why? They both bicker constantly and they reproduce like bunnies. Enough already. Well, there you go. You get some fish like that are rough around the edges, and then they start giving you a whole bunch more of them. Richard said, angelfish, damn things fight like mbunas. They are a type of cichlid, and when they put on size can be very, very vicious. I've certainly seen that. Michael said buying peacocks colored up way too early, juiced fish that became females. And he got an amen on that, and unfortunately there are vendors out there that do that. Mayita seems to have had a difficult time with a yellow lab. I had a yellow lab. It was a great fish, very pretty, and beautiful shade of yellow. But when it put on size, it became trouble. Bernie, not quarantine new fish. I think anyone who's been in the hobby long enough will have one of those stories eventually. I quarantined for 4 weeks, and you really keep an eye on them. Craig said bought a sick Asi once killed 80% of my stock. Again, we're back to quarantining your fish and really making sure, absolutely double sure, that you don't add them to the tank. Chris says buying unsexed juvies when I should have just went with an all-male tank to begin with. That is the risk you take. You save some money and you buy some unsexed fish. It can take a year or two and you could still end up with females. Jason, Kenny, he says they're like Oratus, stone cold killers. All right, I get it. And Ryan says buying Mbuna when I first started with African Cichlids and mixing them with Haps and peacocks. Well, again, we're back to that same problem mentioned earlier. They seem to get along when they're small, and once they put on size and become territorial, it becomes a battle royale. Rob says lack of research and references on I guess he says where to get my fish from, but on the right path now. Well, it's good you're making progress there. There certainly are some good, legit vendors out there, folks you can trust. There are other folks out there who will take your money and not deliver. All good comments. So there you have it. Be sure to comment below, be sure to rate, share, all that good stuff, and be sure to hit that bell so you get notifications when new videos are released. I appreciate your support of the channel, and in particular recently where the channel has just surpassed 9,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to all of you. You're all appreciated, from subscriber number 1 all the way through to the current, most recent subscriber. All right, so hit that bell, sub if you haven't already, and come visit on the Facebook group, ben.o.cichlid. Great group of people willing to help. There are no trolls there, no one who is going to make you feel silly because of the question you're asking. It's not tolerated there. So come on over if you're learning, if you're experienced, or you're brand new. You are welcome at that group. Also follow on Instagram at ben.o.cichlid. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for the ongoing support. You are appreciated, my friend. That's all for now.